Again, I have a feeling Alexander is in a great era because at the moment, Mapuche has a lot of strength. Yeah, look at that, like a lot of strength against the Greek troops. That 10 extra combat power may will be doing something right now. Come on, Mongolia, do something. This is the time to strike. Brazil, they've got lots of troops, but they're all very weak. I mean, if you send a couple of trade routes in, get some visibility over them, Mongolia, you could do well. Norway's capital now has flipped. Both of their cities now starting to rebel. So, yeah, they're not going to last much longer here. This fight, Mapuche, just with these cavalry, these Maidon raiders are super powerful. So they're actually having quite a lot of the success just attacking round the back of Alexander's troops here. Alexander's sort of starting to siege this city now, and unless Mapuche gets some reinforcements in, that's gonna fall very quickly. Look at those hunks. Oh, super strong. Yeah, look at that. Alexander has lost the city right next to its capital. They're going to have to be very careful here. Now, will they continue the attack or will they pull back the troops to defend? Probably the latter. Mapuche down south also taking the second Norwegian city, so a couple more to go. And already they've got the troops around it, so that's happening pretty quickly. Brazil have settled down here. There you go, rebelled, so that'll be another sort of safe thing for them. Brazil declaring war on Macedon. Oh, Brazil are going to try and take Brussels. This is an interesting point. Now, which way will Mongolia fight on this? Alexander really up against it now, being surrounded by the Mapuche. These raider units are so tough for Alexander, really powerful. So this is a good time for Brazil to go, and Alexander is going to start losing troops really quickly. Normally a deity AI can build troops faster than it loses in one set of wars, but not in two. Now, if Mongolia goes after Alexander as well, that's the end for Alexander. But if Mongolia waits for Brazil to commit a load of troops up north, this might be a good time to attack for them as well. Like Belém, look, that's pretty much undefended right now. Oh, Mongolia are shifting their troops around, so who are they going to attack? This is always fun to watch. Full loyalty in 4 turns, 3 turns. I mean, every time Mapuche kill a warrior in Greek lands, these cities just have that risk of flipping. I've seen that before, just on a sort of random sort of battle where people are just dying on all sides. Mapuche can take a city purely just from sort of, what do they call it when you just throw people, cannon fodder battles. They can very, very effectively deal with that. Norway now pretty much out of the game. They've got one more city in Oslo, and Mapuche doesn't even look like it's going anywhere near it. They're just taking this 3 city before it even flipped. Rebellion in 1 turn now, so they don't even have to really bother with it. Oh, Norway are going to try and get it with their longships. That's quite cool. Norway, peace with Mapuche. So Mapuche aren't going to take that last city. I told you, the AI does do that quite a lot. It just leaves that last city. It knows the diplomatic cost is too high. Now, these raider units are just ripping through the Greek troops, and the loyalty is a real thing. Loyalty in 4 turns, 1 turn. So the cities generally at the moment, but don't be surprised if you just see a random city flip with these raider units just chopping about. Whilst all this is happening, I mean, Genghis Khan is still very big. I mean, it keeps settling down here. They might lose that city down there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cities. So they're not far off being in first place. I mean, Mapuche does have more cities, although some of them are quite rubbish. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, right, now Mapuche are way out in front, but Mongolia are doing all right. You know, they need to commit one way or the other, and they've got a significant army here. Those knights are crazy powerful. Maybe they're just waiting to get until they get tanks. I'm not sure, but yeah, weird that. You know what? Suddenly Mapuche are very thin on troops. I'm just sort of looking around. They're especially in the sort of areas, and they say, oh no, they've lost that city. They've lost the city that they were warring over, and Toronto actually has been lost by Genghis Khan as well. So I think Genghis Khan is in a bit of a dark age. Rebellion in 5 turns on this one. On this city as well. I think all of those were Mongolian cities, so maybe this will actually galvanize Mongolia into fighting a little bit, because they're losing, they're really hemorrhaging cities right now. Yeah, definitely in a dark age. This one's going to go quicker now. Yeah, rebellion in 2 turns. So Mongolia sitting back doesn't wait in rise and fall. You've got to commit yourself. Otherwise, when you get hit those dark ages, it's going to be tough for you. Oh, that would explain, like I said, Greece now. Macedon with the pike and shots, which are really quite ably stopping these cavalry units from attacking. Well, they do actually have proper cavalry now, Mapuche. So maybe maybe just sort of taking stock, and they'll attack again in a bit. Yeah, Mapuche having exactly the same problem. That's the second one that's flipped to 3 cities. So, yeah, the bigger civilizations really do struggle with this rise and fall expansion. Once the loyalty starts coming into play, it's a problem for them. This, though, could be an important save. Rebellion in 3 turns, that city would flip back to Alexander, but cavalry units have been brought in by Mapuche, and it looks like they might take the city before it flips. That would be an important hold for them if they do manage to do that. Oh, but the city-state has just put in walls. That is unfortunate timing. 2 turns they have to take that. Will they do it in time? Toronto, over here, is not doing anything, really, and over here, that city flips to Brazil, so Brazil eating into some of Mongolia's lands now, and they're going to get that city as well. So Brazil is doing all right, actually, just sat in the middle. Yep, so Alexander gets its city back, which is a real bonus for them. Mapuche, they've that initial attack was really powerful, and they almost run out of troops. Embarked units like that cavalry being shot down by frigates, that doesn't help. And this Alexander navy is pretty powerful. Mapuche kind of has like 1 ironclad. If they were to, they could probably ransack that city there, to be fair. Mongolia did take Toronto back in the end, although it's now going to rebel almost immediately. Mongolia's Dark Age really causing them strife right now. And actually anti-tank crew for Brazil. It's no wonder Mongolia hasn't been able to sort of attack through Brazil, because they've really gone heavy on the old anti-cavalry. Brazil, it's almost like they know what Genghis Khan is likely to throw at them. Alexander stealing this city as well, so in this war, Alexander has actually gained a city, when everything is said and done, and now these cavalry units are just all a bit... Mapuche's kind of all just a bit everywhere at the moment. You need to be careful, because they're throwing the troops in too many places at once. Oh, I love when that happens. Toronto, just this independent 3-state in the middle of everything with 19 garrison strength. Look at that, just 2 units in, poof, immediately gets taken back. Rebellion in 3 turns. Mongolia just can't hold on. They just can't hold that city. It's really, they just don't have the population in the area. They need to take Leventa. The war on this front between Alexander and Mapuche is very much sort of settled down, really. Nothing happening. Mapuche just sends a couple of raiding units in, kills a couple of Alexander's units, and then they get killed themselves. It's kind of like an aggressive stalemate. Instead of just both sides doing nothing, both sides are attacking each other. They just keep losing all their units. Do you see that Alexander just flipping to I think the modern era with their skyscrapers coming in? So Alexander isn't too far behind in tech, but I just, at some point, Mapuche are going to jump ahead of everybody else, and I just don't know when that point's going to be. Saying that though, it is Brazil that actually weirdly seems to be the people ahead in tech at this precise moment. Toronto flipped again. Hooray! But weird, that inventory. So, but 19 garrison strength. I thought garrison strength was set on the highest strength unit they had. Very odd, that one. Brazilian war over Brussels has been raging for so long now. The wall was taken down, but really they haven't been able to sort of push into Brussels, which is surprising. If that city was taken, Brazil would have had so much more of a clear shot at these huge population Alexander cities just behind the front lines. But just, yeah, they just don't seem to be able to get the grip on Brussels. Oh look, Toronto! It's fallen again! What a surprise! Oh, don't you love it when this happens? The computer brings in loads of siege equipment, but no melee units to back it up. I mean, don't get me wrong, artillery is a great thing to bring, but you kind of need some regular troops, especially if your artillery isn't actually going to fire at all. It's just going to creep forward. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. All of these wars just in a complete stalemate at the moment. This poor Toronto, it's just constantly just being hit back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Nobody knows what's happening with Toronto. It doesn't know what's happening. It doesn't even want its own independence anymore. Oh, look at that 68 strength. Oh, the infantry has had the sense to actually move inside Toronto. That's lucky for it. Oh, that's interesting. So it looks like the artillery were just randomly going through the nation because they were after Pella. That's interesting. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to take it, Mapuche, because you had an ironclad and now it's dead. But oh, actually, no, saying that Pella's walls are down. It's just these anti-tank crews are just going to decimate you. It's the troop of choice because Mapuche does tend to send cavalry. I mean, they're a bit of a one-trick pony in that sense. Well, talking about one-trick ponies, Mongolia. It's got great artists. You know, who said Mongolia couldn't be great and beautiful? You know, Pella actually is down to 0 health. And there's a random Viking longship here. Wouldn't it be great if Norway was just like, boom, and just stole the city while it was on 0 health? That would be so funny. Quick, Specot's army, get in there, take Pella. Oh my god, Alexander took Toronto. the endless backwards and forwards game has stopped. Finally, Brussels still holds. Yeah, this war really nothing really happened with it. I'm impressed. Alexander managed to actually hold back the attackers for far longer than I kind of gave them credit for, really. So turn 175, and I think we're all agreed of who's won. Mapuche. That was an incredibly strong game from them. And who's lost? Yeah, well, we don't even need to talk about them anymore. Sorry, Samaria, you're gone. You dead. Mongolia. Really frustrating. They didn't attack anyone all game. I can't put them through. I know they look good, but they didn't do anything to deserve being put through. They just fought over Toronto the whole game. And Brazil, kind of the same thing. They didn't really do anything. All game, they did declare war on Alexander, but they didn't do anything about it. They just kind of sat there all game. I'm controversially or not, and in the comments, let me know if you think I've got this wrong, but I'm going to put Alexander through as number 2 because they were attacked on all sides for most of the game, and they've survived. They've actually shown pretty good ability to get out decent troops, to defend their lands, to be able to get back cities that have lost. I'm actually fairly impressed with them, and I think we're going to end the game here before Mapuche roll that tank in and take the capital, and it'll look much worse for them, but that's what I'm going to do. Mapuche and Alexander, they're the 2 I'm going to put through. Join me next time when we have Korea, Congo, Egypt, Rome, and Gandhi's India. That should be an interesting one. So, until then, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you later. Bye!